Oh, hi everyone. So, this video covers an overview of several terms that are used in common artificial intelligence daily everyday lives. So, yes, this video might not be very much related to your course, AI prompts and skills. However, when you're learning of AI, then you must know some common terms that are used frequently in the world of AI. This video just covers those essentials. We'll start with the very first and the very simple topic, that is, what is artificial intelligence? Basically, it is a system that can complete tasks that usually require human intelligence. From write me an email to write me a poem to set an alarm, the several things which usually required human brain. So, artificial intelligence is something which can do it for us, basically, things which only humans were capable of. Creativity, make me a photograph, create this, create that. That was not possible beyond human for anyone else to do. But this is an intelligence which can replicate, which can seem to replicate human intelligence. So now it's a taxonomy of modern AI. This, if you see this diagram, you can see there are multiple sublayers. What you can see on the outside is artificial intelligence, which is the umbrella. This is आपको सामने यही दिखता है, जिसके अंदर होती है मशीन लर्निंग, उसका सबसेट डीप लर्निंग, एंड उसका सबसेट इज जनरेटिव एआई. Now there's a difference between all three of these. There's you'll just listen carefully because this part might seem confusing. So machine learning basically learns patterns from data without explicit programming. For suppose I gave it some pictures of a good fruit. For suppose I gave it pictures of a mango. So I told it there is a mango, that is a mango. A mango has these features, a mango has that features, a mango is yellow in color, it is this shaped, it is usually found in these regions. It now has a data. Now whenever I show it a picture of mango, it will go search कि हाँ mango में ये feature थे, ये feature थे, ये feature थे, मेरे language model पे मुझे इस पे train किया गया था. So this is a mango. So this is machine learning basically. Now deep learning, it has neural networks. So neural networks क्या होते हैं? It applies some brain of its own. I gave it a million pictures of mangoes. अब मैंने बस इतना बोल दिया कि ये पिक्चर्स दे दी और ये मैंगो है. अब इसमें हेल्दी मैंगो कैसे पता चलेगा? सो इट विल फिगर आउट कि हाँ दिस पर्टिकुलर, इट विल जस्ट figure out some particular features. It must be yellowish in nature, it must not be leaking and all that stuff. So that इसने अपने आप ही predict कर लिया कि healthy mango कौन सा है. I did not have to explicitly state what an healthy mango is in deep learning context. However, the case was not the same with machine learning. I had to tell particular things that this is there, and this is what makes it a healthy mango. Now, generative AI, it uses all these language models and then entirely creates new content. For suppose the next thing I say is write me a paragraph on healthy mangoes. Now, I have not ever given it anything which says that कि healthy mango के ऊपर paragraph का भी लिखने को आपको बोले तो ये करे, but it creates its own content from the model that has been trained upon. The evaluation of capabilities. Now, this differentiates between machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. So, it basically learns patterns from given data. For suppose I say the capital of France is. Now, इंटरनेट पे जहाँ से ही मैंने इसको ट्रेन किया, फॉर सपोज आई टुक सम इन्फॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम विकीपीडिया, ट्रेन इट ऑन विकीपीडिया. सो विकीपीडिया में मल्टीपल जगह ये फैक्ट लिखा होगा, द कैपिटल ऑफ फ्रांस इज पेरिस. सो वाइल आई राइट कैपिटल ऑफ फ्रांस इज, it predicts every word, the capital of France is, and then it predicted Paris because that is the most common thing that it has been trained upon. So that is machine learning. It learns patterns from given data. However, deep learning, it learns patterns in neural networks usually by facial recognition. अब जैसे एक facial recognition machine है, तो उसे कैसे पता चलेगा कि मेरे को फेस के कौन से फीचर्स पे फोकस करना है, सो दैट आई कैन एक्चुअली गो अहेड एंड चेक इफ it is the same person or not. So it will like I've given it million pictures including mine, so it will look on the basic features that differentiate every face. I have not told it, I have not verbally programmed कि हाँ ये feature एक एक चेहरे को अलग अलग बनाते हैं. I've just given it multiple pictures, and using its own neural networks, it has been able to differentiate between every set of picture and is able to recognize different faces. So its language models also predictions. Okay, then it's generative AI. It uses all these language models to synthesize new inputs that prematurely did not exist. Fine. So these are some of the features like spam detection. I'll tell you this. Facial recognition, I've already told you. For suppose there are mails that come under spam. So now I can tell it कि जहाँ पे ये लिखा, जहाँ पे इस वेबसाइट का नाम लिखा वहाँ पे spam होगा. If it is asking for money, वो spam होगा. If it is this, it will be spam. Now it has these three. So now I cannot tell it every type of email that is gonna be spam. So it will learn from my data that I have given. If this is classified as spam, this is also classified as spam, this is also classified as spam. So अगला जो मेल होगा उसको पढ़ के if this is a spam or not. That is what machine learning is. It will work on the past data and then give me and then it will learn from it and give me new sorry, whatever that is, it will be able to predict the new data. Now large language models. So large language models is not exclusively, it's not exclusive to a single artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is not limited to chatbots, ChatGPT, Gemini and Claude. ये basically AI, बस AI ये नहीं है. इसके अलावा भी AI बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं. When it comes to facial recognitions, when it comes to self-driving cars, when it comes to self-driving self-opening gates, these all also includes AIs when it comes to robots. So AI is not only limited to these ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. It's more than that. So LLM is basically a neural network trained on massive text to do one remarkably simple job: predict the next token. So AI does not understand the language as humans do. उनके लिए वर्ड की कोई सिग्निफिकेंस नहीं होती. उनके लिए they do not know facts. They learn from statistical relationship from billions of examples. So I give them a large amount of data, that is large language model. तो large language model के basis पे मैंने उन्हें बहुत सारा data दिया है. So it is basically predicting every next data. That is what a large language model is. मैंने आपको बहुत सारी एक डिक्शनरी दी थी, इसमें बहुत सारे वर्ड्स हैं. And then you do not treat special as special, you treat special as a word, you treat every word as a word, and then you just try to predict upon the common features that I've given you. The common features, for suppose उसमें obviously एक data model है, मैंने उस पर countries of the world and their capitals लिख दिए. So it will train itself upon it and it will predict the next word that it is going to be resulting, that is going to be the output. Then tokenizers. So an AI does not read words as words, it rather reads them as tokens. Now there's a very good example. It says unbelievable. अब ये एक वर्ड है, ह्यूमन लैंग्वेज में एक ही वर्ड है. हावेवर इन द टर्म्स ऑफ AI it is 3 tokens: unbelievable. So now I'll tell you something like this is a word, unbelievable. सो AI का जो मैंने इसे लैंग्वेज मॉडल, फॉर सपोज आई हैव ट्रेन्ड इट ऑन 3 डिफरेंट वर्ड्स, एक डिक्शनरी पर ट्रेन कर दिया, तो उसके लिए अनबिलीवेबल माइट नॉट बी अ वर्ड, सो इट इज़ ट्रीट अन एज अ डिफरेंट टोकन, believe as a different token, and able as a different token, and later when it is trained, so it will treat this whole word as a single token because it has learned from it. That is the best part about AI. It learns on its past experiences or its past data that it has been treated to, and the next time this will use a single token, but the first time you use it, this will use 3 different tokens. Fine. So now the next thing that comes is the context window. That is amount of tokens that is being used by a particular AI. Now we'll get दो differences हैं, एक है small context, एक है large context. Now question 1 uses for suppose say x tokens. Question 1 ने आपके x tokens ले लिए. Question 25 भी अपने में एक x token लेगा, मान लो दोनों की वैल्यू सेम है, बट आप चाहते हैं कि आपका question 25 1 का कॉन्टेक्स्ट याद रखे, तो it will reread this whole, so it will ultimately use 2x tokens. Question 50 also, so it will use 3x tokens. However, it has a small context window, so it forgets the earlier context at this point. तो इस टाइम पे इसके पूरे टोकन हो जाएंगे रीसेट, and question number 75 will be using x tokens again, and it would not be able to fetch the data that earlier existed. This data would not be able to fetch, तो आपको पूरा context यहाँ से वापस याद दिलाना पड़ेगा. That is a small context window. The context is very small, so the tokens used are also very limited. However, in terms of large context, the tokens usage is higher, but the retention capacity is also higher. तो आपने बहुत सारे मॉडल्स में देखा होगा कि वो भूल जाता है कि आपको पुराना कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या था, वो रैंडमली कुछ भी डेटा वैल्यू प्रोड्यूस करने लगता है. So that is because it has a small context window, but a larger context window allows everything. However, it uses higher number of tokens. Okay, this is a context scale of some particular things. We'll talk about this later in details. Now, during the temperature. So, during temperature control randomness, not intelligence. Think of it as a dial for creativity. For suppose temperature कम है तो बहुत ज़्यादा deterministic. For suppose I say the capital of India is. For suppose if I say the capital of India is. अब इस पर randomness की वैल्यू की एक्सपेक्टेशंस कितनी है? मोस्टली यही होगा. दिल्ली के चांसेस होंगे 99%. फॉर सपोज सम अदर सिटी मुंबई के चांसेस होंगे हार्डली 0.1%. किसी ना किसी डेटा मॉडल पे कम होगा. बट व्हाट इज़ द मोस्ट हाई चांस? दिल्ली ऑब्वियसली. तो उसमें रैंडमनेस की कोई गुंजाइश ही नहीं है. सो द टेम्परेचर इज ऑल्सो वेरी लो. एवर व्हेन आई से डिस्क्राइब दिल्ली, फॉर सपोज द नेक्स्ट वर्ड आई से describe Delhi. Now it can show creativity. It can go through its language model, it can go through its database, and it can search X number of things and can give me very imaginative, very different answers. Would be the obvious answer of 12 into 12? That is 144. That is a very determined answer. The temperature is very less. But for suppose when I say write me a poem on 12, write me a poem on 12, that is a very creative answer. So the temperature is very high. So it's just a measure of creativity. ज़्यादा creative है तो temperature ज़्यादा होगा, कम creative है तो temperature कम होगा. You can just simply understand it that way. Then it is chat versus reasoning. Standard chat models, it has been optimized for speed, summarization and general writing. It has immediate and fast responses. For suppose आपने बहुत सारी वेबसाइट्स में देखा होगा, वहाँ पे एक चैट बॉट होता है. तो पूछता है हाई व्हाट यू गोना स्टडी टुडे, यू से फिजिक्स, तो उसके सामने आंसर्स आ जाते हैं. व्हाट चैप्टर वुड यू लाइक, दिस. आपने उसमें से एक चैप्टर पिक किया तो उसमें से बोलता है कौन सा टॉपिक पढ़ेंगे, फिर उस टॉपिक पे दिस इज द PDF टू इट. स्टैंडर्ड चार्ट मॉडल, इट ऑलरेडी नोज एवरीथिंग दैट यू आर गोना आस्क एंड इट हैज़ वेरी रेडी टू मेड आंसर्स. हाउएवर रीजनिंग मॉडल्स दे टेक टाइम टू एनालाइज थिंग्स. फॉर सपोज यू से मेरे को एक आई हैव हैविंग ए डिजीज़ and these are the current symptoms, so it will analyze all these symptoms. It will track your previous records if you have given it information, and वो सब कुछ एनालाइज करके इंटरनेट से अपने जो उसके लैंग्वेज मॉडल हैं उससे इंफॉर्मेशन वेरीफाई करके आपको एक पर्टिकुलर आंसर देगा. सो इट इज़ हैविंग अ मल्टी स्टेप लॉजिकल कॉम्प्लेक्स थिंकिंग. It is thinking in multiple steps. It is not like it has straight, it will straight go to the language model, it will start predicting everything and give it you the answer. But it will analyze things, it will have a multi-step logic ladder. So it might be slow but significantly better on difficult tasks that a standard chart model cannot do. Now hallucinations. Now there's a very good example. User asks, who won the 2032 World Cup? And AI says, India won the 2032 World Cup after thrilling final against Australia. This is a completely made up false information. And that is exactly what hallucinations is. When AI generates fluent, convincing information that is entirely false or unsupported. Now, why does it happen? Because LLMs predict likely text. LLM का काम ये नहीं होता. LLM is very dumb when it comes to understanding because it treats every word as a token. तो यही देख रहा है कि इस टोकन के बाद यूजुअली यही टोकन आता है, तो इस टोकन के बाद यही टोकन आता है, तो प्रेडिक्ट करने में लगा रखा है. बट it does not actually understand. So it will just cause or obscure any information. So that is where human intelligence comes into place, and we must check every AI response before we actually send it ahead. And then it is a difference in prompting and fine tuning and retrieval augmented generation. There is a big difference between all three of these. Prompting, like let me change this example. आपके कॉलेज का करिकुलम का कोर्स है. फॉर सपोज दिस इज सब्जेक्ट कॉल XYZ. नाउ it I have said act as a teacher, teach me the subject XYZ. So whatever the language model that it has been trained upon, that a particular AI has been trained upon, वो उसके सारे के सारे रिसोर्सेज यूज़ करेगा और उसमें देखेगा कि ये टॉपिक्स इसके अंदर कवर्ड होते हैं, तो इट विल स्टार्ट टीचिंग मी इन अ टीचर्स फॉर्मेट. वो फिर यहाँ से जाएगा कि एक टीचर ऐसे पढ़ाता है तो उस हिसाब से वो मेरे को पढ़ाने लग जाएगा. बट आई वॉन्ट इट टू बी लाइक पर्टिकुलरली कि मेरे को PDFs जो मेरी PDFs हैं उनके बेसिस पे ही मुझे पढ़ाए. ठीक है, तो देयर इज़ वेयर रिट्रीवल ऑगमेंटेड जनरेशन कम्स इन टू प्लेस. आई पुट अ प्रॉम्प्ट, आई से teach me like a teacher, then I give it all the PDFs that I need at this particular point, and then based on this it will teach me like a teacher, but with the help of those particular PDFs that I've provided to him. So I've temporarily trained that AI so that it can act as a way that I wanted, and it will give me a verified answer, the answer that I require. However, I want my AI to be completely at core. वो कोर ही चेंज हो जाए, उसका कोर में हमेशा याद रहे कि मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी में ये पढ़ाया जाता है, मेरी यूनिवर्सिटी में ये चीज़ें होती हैं. So as soon as I search, it just gives me the data that I want. I do not have to provide it custom data set every time. So मैं उसे at the core ही change करूँगा. That is what is defined by fine tuning. It is training the model at custom data set for codes for permanent behavioral shifts. However, retrieval augmented generation, it's for temporal shifts. Okay, you can understand the difference, and there's a pro cons panel that you can easily understand. The next is a customization spectrum that you can easily understand. This graph is just cost, time, and effort that everything uses, and accuracy and customization. Of course, because your AI is very fine tuned and it is very particularly trained for a particular thing, so its accuracy is going to be higher, but its cost time is going to be because उसको train करने के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा time, efforts, and economy लगती है. So this graph you can easily understand. The next is autonomous AI agents. So nowadays AI is not simply, hey ChatGPT, what is the way to Delhi. So it will not just be like I can open Google Apps for you. It will be rather like to go this, you can go left, you can go right, or you can just say, hey ChatGPT, set an alarm for me. And today's GPT can actually do that. Today's AI can actually, hey Gemini, set me an alarm, set me a reminder. So it can actually do that. Book me a train ticket. However, that standard AI simply says, I say, book me a flight ticket, as there's an example. So it will say, here's a link. I cannot do that myself. While agentic AI is basically an AI, so it is not today or kal ka AI, it is a difference between standard and agentic AI. Some AIs are particularly dedicated towards task, and that will also be discussing in the future lectures. Agentic AI is basically multi-step actions. It searches the flights, compares the prices, asks for information, books ticket by all by itself. You just have to sit there and ask it कि मेरी booking कर दो. So that is autonomous AI agents. That is basically what AI agents is. Particularly designated AI for particular standard tasks. Then it is multimodal AI architecture. Today's AI is not only limited to text, not only limited to visuals, not only limited to audio, not only limited to code, but it can do multiple dimensions of data simultaneously in a single unified system. Today's AI architecture is able to successfully do all of that. So that is it. That is all for the lecture today. And I hope you understood everything. If not, you can personally text me and we can clear all those doubts. If some things went over your brains, you can anytime ask me.